Good afternoon and welcome to TalkSports. It is our weekend program, a Saturday sports special to be exact. And welcome once again. It's our first program, boy, in quite a while, since I think July. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's July 26th, Julian. Long vacation.
Certainly, it has been a long vacation,
Yes.
and it's certainly good to be back with you folks, your listeners, sportsmen and sportswomen who love the sports, and forgive us. We're just on a vacation, and sometimes it's needed, and sometimes it's needed, and it was good. And I'm happy to come back and talk about sport. There's so much been happening, so much have happened, so much to come. But here we are on another Saturday with you guys. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, and really appreciate of the folks who have been with us over the years. Good afternoon to you, Gordon. Yes, good afternoon to you. Flashes around. You say, ladies and gentlemen, of the sporting graduate. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to you. Yes, so it was well deserving for that that summer break, and as you know, for me, Rudian, it is no secret now. I ventured to Grenada, to the Spice Isle, right?
Yes, certainly.
By the way, it's Grenada Day in Toronto today, right?
Today, yeah, I am here at work, and I'm finishing here in about another 4 hours, and I'm heading out.
I know you will be heading out.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was Grenada Day last Sunday in New York.
In New York, yeah.
I think this weekend, either today or tomorrow, should be Karakou and Petit Martinique Day in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they do have. So, I don't know.
You take it to another level. That's another level right there. It's like, man.
Yeah. You have the Karakou and Petit Martinique.
And Petit Martinique, yeah.
So those folks from Karakou always have the double whammy, as they say, right? Whether it's carnival, because they have their own carnival.
Yeah, their own carnival. Yep,
right?
Yep.
There's Grenada Day, and there's Karakou and Petit Martinique. Those guys are. Thank you very much, Edwin Sam. Welcome back to you as well, and I appreciate Edwin Sam.
Good to see you.
Yeah, very much so. Folks, as indicated in our discussion, that it appears, Rudian, and to our class, that there is a resurgence in Jamaican sprinting. You remember a few months ago, could be weeks, that the question came up, in fact, when Richard, our friend, was on.
Yeah.
And I think Richard was of the view that just give us some time, right?
Yeah.
Just give us some time. And we are seeing, because the question and the concern was at the time whether or not Jamaica is really going through a bad patch, right? And at the time, we also realized and came to pass that there was some problem. Well, I shouldn't say problems. There was the issue with the athletes switching allegiance, right? And we were wondering whether or not that will really have an impact on Jamaica, well, I should say, as a powerhouse in track and field. Because, of recent, it's United States and Jamaica when it comes to sprinting, track and field, right? And obviously, the United States will have the edge because of sheer number, right? By the way, we shouldn't leave out Canada, for example, who have been doing pretty well, especially in the relays, In the relays.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
A quartet of sprinters for 4x1 and the 4x4, right?
Yes, they do.
But of recent, we have seen quite a resurgence in Jamaican sprint, in the male in particular, right? Yes, we've seen a changing of the guards in the female with the Shelley and Fraser Prize, because we see, I think yesterday she finished fourth in the women's
Yeah,
100,
yeah.
right? And you seeing the young ones, the twin sisters, the Clayton sisters are, basically leading that pack, right?
That pack. Yes,
But
yes.
when it comes to the men, I mean, I still think, Rudian, and I'll give you the time to come and see what you have to say, that it's wide open. Yes, we're seeing, you know, the likes of all those who are really, really, um, what should I say? They're showing that Jamaica still has what it takes, I should say, right? So whether it's Kishane Thompson, and then we saw Bryan Levell, who,
Mm-hmm.
came in at what, a 9-8, whatever, a
Yeah,
sub
yeah.
9-9, right? And then we see Oblique Seville a bit
Mm-hmm.
consistent now, right? A bit consistent. And then Ackeem Blake is still there. So there's a quartet of Jamaican male sprinters who I believe, right, on any given day could really, really turn the table. Rudian, I'm giving you the floor for a couple minutes.
Most definitely. We on many occasions, speak on this platform talking about the cupboard is empty, and I think we misread the cupboard. The cupboard probably was a little empty, but they was at the store shopping and they didn't get home yet. So certainly, we have seen that there a lot of athletes been there. Um, Jamaica is back. Jamaica is back on the full. It will never be an era and a time of both, but Jamaica is back. Certainly, Jamaica is back, and in both the men and the female, and not only that, with Jamaica, they are now in athletics surrounded.
Mhm.
They're in the field, they're in the
Okay, yeah.
distance, they're everywhere. Um, they have a young man coming up in the 800 that's just qualified to the NACAC. Um, he's running well, 143, 144, something like that. That's running. So yes, um, Jamaica is there. I'm happy to what I'm seeing. I don't know if anything changed in terms of the federation, if they are more engaged now since you lose some athletes. I don't know if that's the change in there. If they've been aware now of it is time for us to step up. I don't know if that's what it is, but I have to say in terms of the men, Jamaica is truly stepping up. They are back on top based on performance right now in the rankings in the world. They're number one and number three. So the number one, I'm watching it here. Number one, number three, number five, and number 10, and that is good ranking, not necessarily on times but just on points. I'm watching this because they do the point system now, so that's really really good in terms of the performance and stuff what they are doing, and these guys in them is running very well. I it would not I mean, we're not calling it yet. I think the day will come soon. Hopefully next week or the week after, we're going to call. We're going to make our call on what we think the World Championship would be. But certainly in the men, I could see a sweep in the podium. I know it's a big call. I know I'm calling it now, but it could be a sweep because the coaches is they're very smart and knowledgeable. Yeah, you haven't seen a lot of these guys in the running, especially on the female side. You barely seen Shelly as much. The one or two times you see the twins. Um, they are very how they planning. Their planning is very different from a lot of other countries, a lot of other coaches. So they're planning stuff very well. They've been around there. They've been around for so many years, and I think that the right time has come because the season is late. it's a late season, especially to end the season at the World Championship. It's kind of late. So certainly, I think they are planning very good. Their planning is on point, and we'll see some things happening. And we look at Shelly right now, and we're thinking, oh, Shelly is done. She's no. I just think, Shelly is very knowledgeable. She's very smart, and she's doing exactly what she's supposed to do right now to help her when the right time comes.
Yeah, let me go. You're stirring up something there. Good afternoon to you, Roger Duncan. Roger, you may have to come back and clarify. I think Roger is saying, I am not convinced yet that the Jamaican sprinters can pull through after the rungs. Very strong at the one-off events, but the rungs. And he's talking about like the Diamond League, etc., etc.
No, and I understand that, and that's the same thing we speak about, and that's why I talk about the coaches. That's why I talk about, like, you look at Shelley, you look at Jackson, you look at the Twins, you look at those athletes in terms of how they've been coaching. One of the things on another platform I've been saying is that I think Jefferson is running too much. That's my personal preference. That I think she's racing too much, and when the time comes, then she have to do 3 rounds within within a week, in a sense, when now she having, I know, 2 weeks, every 2 weeks or so she's competing. I think she's racing too much, and I think that could hinder her coming up. I think, it could be a benefit for Sha'Carri. Could be. We look at her now and we think, she's a phenomenal athlete. She's just going through something right now. That's what I really think. I just think that she's just going through a process, yet again, but she's going through a process, and we have seen her overcome those things in the past. However, I think that the strategy with the Jamaican coaches, and I think that they'll be okay in terms of the rounds. That's what I think.
In the rounds, okay.
In the rounds, yeah.
Well, yeah, because it is something we have seen, especially like in the 400, for example, where over the years, our own Kirani James, he has been able to prevail over some of the younger guys.
Over some of the younger guys,
They come out of college and fresh and running, fast times, and then his sustainability over in those championships.
Because it's over 5 days. Within 5 days, they run in. He hits the finals within 5 days, and it becomes that if you don't run well in the first round, I mean, you don't have to run fast, but you have to be in that position where you're the top 2, whatever, to move on. And if you're not smart about doing it,
I was saying in the 100, for example, the semis and the final normally are the same day.
It's the same day. Same day.
The semis earlier.
Within an hour, I think within some time, So it's the same day. So we have seen that, and so certainly, I think they're ready. I think they're ready. Like I said, hopefully by next week or the week after, we're going to have a prediction of what we think. But like I said, I've seen some good things about Jamaica. I've seen their back. The one disappointment on the female side, we don't have both twins running the 100. I think if we did, it'd have been phenomenal. We just don't have both of them. It's just one because of injury, and that is, based on Jamaica rules. Rules are the rules, right? So it's unfortunate. Canada is different. The Grass didn't run the 100 because he was injured. He probably will still run the 100 in the World Championship. So they're different up here compared to some countries like Canada and the USA who have a strict rules. They follow the wall athletics from elementary school, from kindergarten school. They try their best. They might tweak it here and there, but they basically follow the rules. So these young kids, they grow up knowing the rules of wall athletics from a young age. A lot of these athletes nowadays, they're learning it as they go right now. Jamaican kids know it from scratch. When they start running, they instill in them the wall athletics rules. Even though they are too young to understand it, but they are doing the wall athletics rules. So by the time they get there, they have an understanding of the wall athletics rules, so they know how to, process it. But certainly, that's what it is. But hey, it looks good. It's exciting, and we're gonna see some good things. Certainly, I'm excited. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Theo Duncan. Well, the Duncans are in now.
The Duncan family is in the house.
Yeah. And Roger is saying Oblique Seville has something up his sleeves. Once he remains healthy,
Mm-hmm.
there will
Yeah.
be a shocker. And he's saying it could be a shocker. I mean,
Yeah.
a shocker with Kishane Thompson, because Kishane seems to be. I mean, once Kishane gets the rocking control, once he controls the rocking.
Like if you remember, last was at the Olympics, Seville was the favorite on a lot of people's mind, even in Jamaica. It was Seville because the way he was running, and he just couldn't, and I think that's where Kishane was focused on Seville so much, he didn't realize Noah is out on the other side. And I think that's really what happened when Noah come and tap him over, right? But Seville is certainly the one to really look out for. And if you give them that time, they're going to run well. I mean, if it wasn't raining 2 days ago, what would have happened? How fast would you have run?
Mm-hmm. All right. Edwin is saying if the Jamaican men can make it through the rounds, they will receive 2 medals in the final.
I still think it could be 3, but like I said,
that could be ambitious. That could be ambitious, guy.
Listen, Levell is running very well. We have to look at those athletes. But again, as an athlete, as a coach, myself, who've been there, there is rounds, like I said, and you have to be able to maintain the rounds. So, like I said, if they maintain the rounds and they stay in there, we could see 3 Jamaicans in the finals. I think it could happen. And that not only on the men's side, also on the women's side. We could see three Jamaicans on the women's side as well.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So yes, the powerhouse of Jamaica is back. It is back. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say about we touched briefly on the female, right? And you talk about a lot about the Clayton twins, but you believe that is the end of an era for the likes of well, we haven't heard about her for quite a while. Elaine Thompson, and Shelly-Ann is basically, I think.
Well, we know Shelly is on our last. And but she's at that age she's running. At that age she's running. She's still running. She's still running fast. She's still running fast. Like I said, she is. Everything is a strategy for her. That's what I think. I think everything is a strategy for her going into the World Championship. So I still could see her because, listen, experience says a lot. One of the things about in the basketball, they say that, teams that haven't made a playoffs don't have an idea of what's it like. It's a different game. And I think that's really how it is on that world stage. A lot of these young kids coming up, like I said, a lot of them is one-off. They're running today, they're running fast, but can they do it in the rounds? She's been doing it for a decade and more, going to that round. So she have an idea of the rounds, how important it is, and knowing how to run it. Listen, you're not trying to fight for a lane. It's a straightaway, in a 200, 400, I understand you would like a better lane. In the 100 meter, we all the same. We all on the straight line. So it doesn't matter if you're in lane 1 or you're in lane 8. It makes no difference. It makes no difference, But certainly, like I said, the twins is truly are coming up. They are certainly the to look for. And a lot of times we still haven't heard of Alfred. She's there. Julian Alfred is there. So I can see there will be 4 Caribbean athletes in the finals of the 100 meters.
Yeah,
maybe 1 American, maybe 1 British, and maybe an Ivory Coast with Talu. And that's how I'm looking at it. But yeah.
And the question too is that if all goes well, especially for our athletes in the region, and obviously led by the Jamaicans, do you think the Caribbean will have a very good World Athletics Championships?
Oh, certainly. And when I saw that from after a security run the 400, that's when I seen it. And it's not that I didn't expect he could run that fast still. It just like, wow, he still has it.
Yeah.
That's all I could have said. I could have said, whoa, he still has it.
Yeah.
And because like when I see that, I said, listen, the Caribbean athletes will certainly have a phenom of a time in Japan. And all because of one athlete and our beloved, because of Kirani James. When I seen this and I said, this man still has it. You know, he still has. He probably can go for another 3 years. I mean, he may not go for another 3 years, but he can probably go for another 3 years. You know, because he looks good, and it's certainly, and that was certainly something what I seen, and I said yes. I think the Caribbean athlete just based from that. Listen, I you seen the also at the NACA games, the young man from St. Vincent 800 142.
Mhm.
That's running. That is running. You know, so that certainly could be, St. Vincent, first gold, first medal. Um, you know, so they are running well. They are running well. But again, he come back again. It's rounds. Can he maintain the top there, the 2 rounds? For him, it's 2 rounds, which is not bad. Others, it's 3 rounds. But suddenly, like I said, they're running. Let's not talk about the 400 meters. You know, a lot of people thinking the female 400 meters will go to
Um,
but I don't think I still listen. Hey man, and there's so much, man. People are running well.
yeah.
I just want to see if can they maintain it for the next month, the next 3 weeks. Is That's really what it is. Is maintaining it for
I,
the
I,
next three
I
weeks.
I think, Rudian, to be honest, I think it's a matter of we getting set up for what could be a very intriguing World Athletics
Yeah,
Championships, right?
and we're not only
Um,
talking about in the sprints. We're going all the
yes,
way
but
up to
the
the
thing,
1500, the
even
5000, the
yes,
10,000 steeplechase. It's not one thing. We're talking about
even
all the way up.
the
Yeah.
vault. Now
Yes.
you're saying
Mm-hmm.
Duplantis having some
Yeah.
competition in the pole vault.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
he has been dominant over the years, but now he's
Over the
having.
years. Yeah.
By the way, the women's 400, as much as our friend from the Dominican Republic has been very dominating, it's
Yeah.
still an open
It's still open.
race. It's still open.
Um,
It's still an
and I
open
was
race.
say, I know, and even though I have my doubts, you know, um, about the American, I don't know her name, just McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Even if I have my doubts about her, I mean, I would say I wanted to watch Runner 400. I think she will be the best in the world. I think she can break the world record. And I don't know if she's running a strategy, but you're talking about two young ladies. You're talking about the young lady from Bahrain and the young girl from Dominica. Them two are phenomenal athletes. They are just phenomenal. The young girl from Bahrain won already the World Championship or the Olympics. She has a medal. She won it already. So she knows she like doing this comeback because she was banned for, but Alice she was banned for a while. Um, but it's gonna come back. They are running phenomenal.
Mhm.
They're running phenomenal. So but the last race they both run, both of them, one came eighth and the other one came about sixth or fifth or sixth. So so I don't know. Are they tired now? Is it just a strategy? Is it something went off on them? Because it's not one to say one. Both of them did not get top three. So are they tired? Is it coming to that point where you're getting exhausted? And you look at McLaughlin just calm and relax and waiting, and she's running smart and she's doing her thing. But I still think it's going to be a phenomenal race to watch. It's almost saying looking at the man with the US trial with Quincy Watts, and he said, did he burn out? Did he run too much? And then here he come to the trials and he could not, as fast as he running, it has to count on that time. It doesn't matter how fast you run. Same thing in the 100 meters. It has to count on that day. What you did before doesn't mean anything.
Didn't mean anything. Yeah, that's
It
true.
doesn't mean absolutely nothing. Watching Jefferson and saying this and all this. Then these guys are them running not on time. Basically, they want to get on the podium at this time. So whatever time they run there, they early tell themselves, "Well, I run fast already for the year. I just want to get on the podium now." So it's about for them. It's about just I need to be on the podium because we've seen what the sport become now. It's a dollars and cents for them. and you get on the podium is dollars and cents, is the money for them. So it's not about times too. Times could be a little bonus, but it's about getting on the podium.
A question to you, and then I'll throw it out to let me throw the comments first, and then I'll throw the a sports podcaster said that the rest from the COVID lockdown helped the resurgence of Elaine. Maybe she can make a comeback if she gets another year of rest. Things happen. Yeah, but by then she'll be
And it's a
40.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. And we don't know what the issue is really. There's a lot of hush hush. So we don't really know exactly, is who in the camp. You really know exactly what's going on with her.
Yeah,
I have my personal thing. I think she should have stayed with a coach. When it trans over into family, it become difficult. It's one thing if your uncle is coaching you, it's a different story. But when it's your husband, it's a different story. Because you got to go home with that person if they upset you that day, and then it mentally it don't work for you.
yeah.
But we have others who are coach with their husband and they are successful. Um, in the Caribbean, she's the one that is not. We have the two jumpers, um, coached by the husband, and they are successful. She's the
Yeah.
only one that we haven't seen a success coming out from her, coaching by her husband. And I don't know if that was a good choice, but you make a choice, you have to live with it. And but certainly, if we don't see her, like again, we thinking every time we think of the World Championship and the Olympics. That's really the two major sport, and she's not into the World Championship now. It's 2 more years for the next World Championships, and then the Olympics. So yeah, I don't know
All right,
for her.
Edwin.
I think her time is done, and I think it's time for the twins and other young Jamaican athlete who's coming up to take over the ring.
Edwin said this is shaping up to be one of the most competitive championships. Everyone is performing very well. Yes, that's
But yes, Edwin, and I totally agree with you. And yet again, one of the things we're saying that it's a long season. You know,
very
it's very long. It's very long. So that is the fear about it. We might see some winnings. We may not see the times that we're looking for. So that might be on the sprint side. But certainly could be something that we might see. Yes, we might see. Kishane winning the 100, but his time could be 9:9. I'm just saying. We may not see that fast time that we're looking for. We may not see that, or we may. Some people pick late, and maybe that's the situation with them. And that's my fear again with Jefferson. She's running phenomenal, phenomenal. But is it running too
well,
phenomenal too early?
what
But
about
I don't know.
Sharika Jackson? You still think she has something in the tank and she can
Yes, she does. I think she has it in there. Um, the question is what she's going to really truly focus on. That's the real thing. What is she really going to focus on? Um, because she have competition in both the 100 and the 200. And if her favorite to get to even to go as far as say to get a medal is in the 200, she might just focus on that. She may pull out after the first round based on certain things and stay focused on just the 200, or she might go all the way through. But like again, 3 rounds in the 100, and then coming back and do another 3 rounds in the 200, and then hopefully 2 rounds in the 4x1. That's a lot of racing in in a week, 2 weeks time, give it 7 days or so, 10 days. Yeah, it's a lot. I haven't seen the schedule yet, but something like that. It's a lot.
Yep.
It's certainly a lot.
I want to go back to another athlete that, well, to an extent, has been creating a sort of wave over the last year or two, and then we see she's really struggling now. I don't know if the recent incident, I'm talking about Shakari Richardson,
Hmm.
is really having an impact on her, and therefore we're seeing Jefferson is really carrying the baton, as we will say, for the United States in sprint now, right? Even though your concern is that you think she's going to do too much, right? Do you think that will work in favor of the Jamaicans?
Yes, it can. But talking about Shikari for a second, when we look at Houston Bolt, Shikari is the highest paid endorsement track and field female athlete right now in the world. And I comparing, I'm doing a comparison now. So I'm comparing her to Houston Bolt, who was highest paid at the time, and based on how he's doing. And when you see Bolt, you never see him alone. Never. You absolutely never see Bolt alone. He always have a PR team with him. So always have people with him to shield him. Always do. Shikari never do. She don't. She and when I watched the clip of the video and what happened with her arrest, and she said her name like 4 times and they had a clue who she is. And I could probably swear that if it's Usain Bolt, they will know who he is, and he's not even American.
Yeah, but in addition,
I'm just saying that. And I'm thinking that she put herself. At least she had to have PR people with her,
so that they could have just said
they could shield that. They could shield that.
They could intervene. They could speak on her behalf, etc., etc.
Because that don't help. Because that don't help her, and she's a role model. And in the sense where you see at Halloween, you see young kids dressed like her. You know, they have the sleeves and they have all the stuff in Halloween. So she a role model, and you know she tends to look at us and say, "I'm a human," and well, we hope you're a human and not an alien. You know, stop using that excuse. You know, if you make a mistake, just say I'm sorry and that's it. Stop with the "I'm a human" thing. You know, so we hear it too much, and it becoming like that is the state to do. Every time you do something wrong, well, I'm a human. I'm allowed to make mistakes. No, you are more than that right now. You're a role model to young kids. And the things you do make a difference. So I think that is affecting her, because here's the thing, Michael. They're both in the same training camp. So do they have different training days? Do they have to see each other still? Like, I mean, so like, you guess what I'm saying, right? Do one training in the morning and then come in the evening to avoid the clash? Like, so there's so much happening because Coleman is not running well either.
Yeah,
he's not running great.
Yeah.
He's not. So we will see what she's doing. I mean, she's still running okay, you know. I don't know, and if for what I've seen right now with her, if she don't get it together, she's not making the finals in the 100 meters at the World Championship. If you don't put her act together, however, she's very fast. She's very fast, and we have to give credit to credit. She's a phenomenal athlete on the track. Outside of the track is a different story. It's outside of the track is affecting her on the track. So she have to make a decision, you know, what is it you really want to do? Because every time you do that, and if she don't make the finals, I don't know if she's going to have Nike next year. Nike could pull from her. Nike could pull from her.
Yeah, strange things are happening.
Strange things are happening, and it's easy for Nike to just say, "Yeah, because there's so many little things in contract that we don't know, and those little things could make you lose a lot, right?" So, again, if she continue the way she's running, I'm not sure if she's going to make that finals. I have 8 people in mind already. She's on the list. On my 8 who could be at the finals. But if she don't get it together, she may not even be there.
Yeah. While we're on that, yes, we know we're looking at the focus is on Jamaica, but if you don't mind us just looking at some of the other Caribbean countries, and I don't know if you have been following, but aren't you sort of concerned about the lack of in the spotlight of someone like Shawnee Miller-Ubo and Stephen Gardner from the Bahamas? I mean,
I seen them. I see their performance, you know, at the NACA games, and it's hard. Some people come back from a lot of things. And a lot of people want to do it. Alison Felix, it was tough for her when she came back, even though she was running well. You know, she have a child and she come back. That was tough. You know, Shelly did it. She was on top, but it's not for everybody. It is not for everybody. It is tougher, and you feel that yes, you still have it, and it can be part of your contract that you signed that you have to continue running. But I'm looking at both of them, and I'm asking the question: do they really want to do this still? I don't know if they really want to do this still, and they don't look like the athletes that we have seen in the past. It's not always about winning. It is not the winning aspect. Is the way they're performing, way they're running. They don't run like they really want it no more, like they're hungry for it.
Well, Stephen, in particular, Stephen has been bothered by
Yeah,
injuries of feet, right?
injuries back and yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how much Shawnee has recovered
We
fully
covered, yeah.
from her
Yeah.
pregnancy, right?
Yeah, and
It's
that's
not
what I'm saying.
not an
It's not
Alison
everybody.
Felix type, yeah.
Not a
It's
Allison,
not
it's not a
a
Shelley.
Shelley and Fraser
Um,
type,
and
yeah,
there's another one, the hurdler, Harrison.
yeah, right,
Yeah, and so it's not them. They all everybody different in their ways in terms of how you're coming back. Everybody is not the same, right? But there's also a determined will from them. You see that from Shelley. You see that from us. There's a determined will on their part, right? Not everybody that can do that. So that's what I was saying. I don't know if she really recover. Plus, even with Gardner, there is always that issue with them, with he and the federation too. Especially last year, dealing with there was back and forth online. So there's a lot of little things in there that we don't know. There's so much things in there. It would be nice, we as fans, for us to know exactly what's going on with you guys, say something, come out and say something because we are the fans. We really want to know what's happening mentally because I'm looking at the race itself and I'm saying that if you're going to run. If you're not able to do, don't run. Because once you get on the start line, you're there to run, not to show up, not to take up a lane. You're there to compete. So compete. And I don't see that competitiveness in them. Not at all. And that's one of the reasons too, even with Kirani, when you watch Kirani don't go everywhere. And if he's not ready to go, if he's not ready to go and compete, he's not. And most of the time when you see Kirani compete, he's competing.
yeah.
He's not one of those things that are making excuses. No, he's competing. And that's a big difference with a lot of the
Even if
athletes
he
out there.
finished
A
fourth
lot of
for six,
excuses.
he's
Yeah, it doesn't
competing.
matter. He's competing. You're going to get your all from him in that time. And I'm looking at them and I'm not seeing getting the all from them.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that.
Roger says, sorry to mention this early, but we need to have program discussion about the enhanced games. The paradigm shift in morals and values have begun to penetrate sports. Have you noticed how much sponsorship dollars are thrown into it? Anyways, back to normal programming, Jamaica. Well,
We had something on that,
Dr.
right?
Lord,
Yeah.
Dr. Adrian
Yeah.
Lord, a
Yeah.
few weeks ago from the anti-doping,
Yeah.
RADO, Regional Anti-Doping Organization, and he spoke. Well, that was the concern, Remember,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
major
And
concern.
I think a lot of it too is who is in backing it. It is backing up big time by one of the chumps, and that name alone, people will just put money into it because of the name. And I think that's where the sponsorship is really kicking in, is because of that name.
Well,
So that's one of the things too. Yeah.
well. Hopefully, the bad publicity to an extent that the Jamaicans had when the athletes announced their spiritual allegiance.
Yeah.
What is happening now? Sorry, could be a detraction to an extent in terms of that mindset, and two, could be able to pull some good sponsors to the way of Jamaica and athletics, because obviously you're seeing that Jamaica stands a chance in dominating. It could be the one, it could be the two, as well as could be the relays. You never know, right? They have some chances, so probably now is a good time where, Rudian, you could probably advise the Athletics Association in Jamaica to reach out to some sponsors,
Yeah,
because
certainly. They can, like again. I'm watching again. We're not doing prediction now, but I'm watching the women 4x1, and the United States will put. They're gonna show their best. And again, the best is not the four fastest. They're going to show their best on that 4x1 team. Jamaica, those three other ladies, they are running for Shelly. They are running for Shelly. And I think that 4x1 is for Shelly. Nothing else. So they're going to give it their all. Last race, last one for Shelly. Don't be surprised she anchor too. Don't be surprised she's you're going to surprise me that she bring it home. But it's going to be for her. But the US will throw everything. They will put Gabby on that 200-meter turn. They will, the four fastest girls at the US trials, maybe two of them is going to be on that relay team. And I don't think they're going to have all four of these girls. All right. So imagine you have the two twins and Jackson and Shelly. That is a team. That is a relay team. And I think that's going to be, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And the same thing with the men. The men have four Jamaica have 4 men that could reclaim that title and getting back on top. Canada always lucky. Canada is always lucky. They're always squeezing in. They're always being there. Something is always there about them. Because the men is also no, it's Britain. It's Britain is there. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm saying you could have the 4 fastest guys.
It's the baton.
That's wrong, eh? Remember that.
It's the baton.
Because I have seen United States, I've seen Jamaica over the years with probably the best team, and somehow matter did not.
But that's why there was this conversation. They said that once you have your relay pool, you have to find a time and speak with a lot of these coaches. Because they all not from the same camp.
Yeah,
and
especially when it comes to Jamaica,
when it comes to Jamaica, because there is that clash.
Easier with the United States when they come, they send their team wherever, and they most time they cooperate. If you on the relay team, there's time and place for you to be on the relay team.
You need to show up.
Right? When it comes to Jamaica, there tends to be a little tension sometimes with MVP, whether you're from MVP and whether you're from racers and etc. And the scheduling, and the coaches, and all of that. And I sympathize sometimes with the Jamaica Athletics Association.
Association,
It's a tough call for them.
It is.
Negotiate.
But if they want success, like I said, you have to build good, strong relationships with his clubs, with his coaches, with the athletes. You have to. And I wouldn't train in Jamaica. If I was Jamaica, I would come to Grenada. Let's go to Grenada and train. I wouldn't train in Jamaica. You get away. So the athletes themselves don't have everybody around them, coaches, this and that. They're adults and they could do the warming up already. It's only a relay training. You fly them out to somewhere for 2 days and get it and train with them, and then once you kind of work that in, then you could work individually because two of them might be on the same club, so they could do their thing, right? But I think in Jamaica, too many people get involved, coaches get involved, and this and that. Is too many of this stuff. Get away and train. Yeah,
but it's probably a good time for me to throw that out to Mr. Garth Gale, the president in Jamaica. Tell him that the Spice Island
Grenada is open. We have a brand new track. It's brand new. And we are open and we are willing to help the girls and the male win the medal, send them down for the weekend, let them train, and then take them back up. It's good. No headache, no nothing. Yeah.
We will mix that with a little oil down and sort of thing.
They're gonna get some things. They will be good.
Get the guys away from the hustle and bustle of Kingston and things like that. So they come to the Spice Isle, refresh themselves, right? Have some training at the Kirani Gyms Athletic Stadium, and
then go back. And they have some because our coconut water is different from the Jamaica coconut water. So They have a 2 coconut water, revamp themselves and go back, and everything is good.
Good? Yeah, that's an invitation. You can
So we're sending out. We are truly sending out the invitation to them.
contact your friend, Mr.
We are
Connors.
open. We are willing. Come on down, train, and then go back and head to the World Championships.
Certainly. And I mean, not only Jamaica, even if the Bahamas wants to do it too, so Mr. Mike
There's a few. There's a few of them that can do that. There's certainly a few of them that can do that. Yeah, yeah.
But Rudian, the important thing too is that, and you know, on the theme of can Jamaica really reclaim their title or their status as the sprinting powerhouse of the world, it goes back to what Edwin has said a little earlier, that this championship will be a very exciting one, very intriguing, right? And I guess as much folks will have to, is not a situation where you're saying here, to really enjoy the championships, you can't say, okay, I'm only looking forward to the 100 or the 400 or what. Hey, just about every event so far.
Every event, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There is some sort of excitement that is expected, right? From the 100 to whatever it is on the field. As you said, the pole vault, the jumps, the throws, because even the javelin, for example.
Javelin, shot put. There's so many things, yeah.
I am seeing someone like Kishane Walcott, for example, from
Trinidad,
being very consistent. He's looking good.
He's looking good. He want to reclaim that title that he lost over the few years. Yeah.
Yes. Right. He's consistent. He's there.
He's consistent.
Anderson.
And Anderson could reclaim it too. And Anderson can certainly reclaim it. It's like I said, it's on the day that matters. It's not the distance of what you throw. It's how focused you are on that day. Because now we talk about reclaiming the powerhouse. Is reclaiming meaning that they have to win, or how much finals they're in? Because I mean, like I said to you, I can see 3 Jamaicans in the 100-men finals, and I can see three Jamaicans in the men. They may not win, but the fact that we have 3 of them in the finals says a lot. You know, and the US we could probably see 2. You know, we could just see 2 of them in the finals. You know, so certainly. Yeah. Again, it's just about how much athletes can be in the finals, and we'll probably reclaim that, hey, the powerhouse. Because if you have the 100-meter where Jamaica win and then they come second and the US come second and third, Jamaica the powerhouse or the US? Because kind of thing, right? So I don't know how we put it on the scale in terms of reclaiming that title, but I think it could be based on how much of them is is in the finals.
You agree with Edwin?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Very well. Very, very well. Yeah. So like I said, it's in so many ways. And the reason why we so much key in Jamaica, because we haven't seen that from them in a long time. We have seen it recently. We haven't seen it from them at all. Not in a long time. We really haven't seen it at all. So that shows that, yes, I really, really hope, and we talk about it a lot, the federation is taking a step back, seeing what happened is forward, and say it is time for us to invest in our own people. It is time for us to do something.
The last time we have seen that would have been the Bolt, Blake, and Powell era.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Yeah. Bolt, Blake, and Powell era.
Yeah, and that was in terms of the sprint powerhouse. Yeah,
sprint powerhouse with the men, and then you had Shellyan and VC Campbell, and you had Elaine was around. You know, Sherika was just coming up. You know, so
there's a lot of young little athletes was coming up at the time from Jamaica. Some of them fall on the wayside. Some of them was at one time. We've seen them. Some of them was on really team. We didn't see them again because it is very, very difficult to make a Jamaican team. Very difficult. It is very, very, very difficult. So a lot of great athletes that we have seen may fall on the wayside because they tell themselves, hey, I don't know. So now the question comes like, if they could make a team in another country, would they pick up and go? Mm-hmm. Because it's very hard to, same thing in the US. It is very hard to make a team in the US. And sometimes it's on the day. If someone your best is not the one who even make it through. because it's on the day that matters.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and then he come back. I remember last year at the US trials, the young lady who win the high jump didn't have standards. The next day she was in Jamaica at the Jamaica trials to make standard, even though she win. Now, if she makes standard within the time period at that last meet, then she will be going to the world champion, to the Olympics at the time. So, and then so it does come down to that because she's giving herself an opportunity. So it's just one of those things, right? So
Yep. Roger, school children is saying that with the absence of sports marks, Talk Sports with Michael and Rudian will be pulling up the slack. So are buying, so are selling.
well, certainly we have to do something. Something has to be done. We have to talk sports. And Roger, I agree with you. So it is.
It's in our blood, right?
It is. It certainly is. Yeah.
DNA. So
it certainly is.
We have to.
And even Michael, while as we're talking about this, I just want to add, I am very impressed, very happy to see our federations and our Ministry of Sports giving athletes the opportunity. Over the last little while, we see many teams traveling to different games and carrying the flag of Grenada, carrying that, yeah. So so medal or not, and they are getting that opportunity to go. That's what the sport is about, giving them the opportunity. Now they go to, like, we have the Pan Am Juniors, we get 2 medals. You have a bronze and a silver. Yeah. They're hungry now. They're hungry. They're ready for the next one. So they're going to go back to the coach. They're going to go back on the strategy. They're going to go back to the planning. They're going to go back and say, what is the next games for me next year? And then for them, next year is the Commonwealth Games, which is the biggest things. And there's, so they are hungry for that, because why we give them that opportunity. We look at in the young girl from Trinidad winning the 100 meters. That's the last time we see Trinidad win the 100 meters at our World Games, at our international games like this. It's been a while, especially in female.
Hey, listen, give us a more little respect, man. Miss Bascom.
Yeah, I apologize. Yes, it is you. And I said that too. I was going to mention that to you. The family blood is running well. And certainly we haven't seen that in a while, and we've seen that now. So it is not only on the we are not only seeing the Jamaicans, as we always see in the Caribbean, always doing something. We always see the Jamaican. Now we're seeing the rest of the Caribbean islands stepping up. Now we're seeing that happening. So I give kudos again to my government, to our federation, for truly giving those athletes, and not only in the terms of track and field. We've seen volleyball teams traveling. We've seen netball teams traveling. We've seen football teams. We're swimming. So we've seen it. They're giving them that opportunity. Please continue with what you guys are doing. It is good for the sport. It is good for the nation, and it certainly is good for the athletes.
Yeah. Edwin is saying, good point, Rudian. It's on the day. Look at, I think he was referring to Jared Nagus, not making the 1500. Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Nagus. Jared, yeah, he didn't. Even though he's actually, his world ranking in the 15, I think it's number 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he is a multi-Indo Olympic, medalist. Yeah. Nagus that's Jared Nagus. I think he's originally from Ethiopia, if I'm not mistaken. He competes now for the United States. And he has won a number of medals, both Indo and outdoor. Yeah, I don't think he had. I think it's Edwin is correct about him not qualifying for the 1500.
Not qualifying for the 1500,
yeah. So even that in itself, is on the day, and probably the point that Roger has been making, and you elaborated on Rudian, is that how many of those guys are in a position to survive,
To survive. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
rounds, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I said it earlier too, especially the college athletes, right? Sometimes, Rudian, the college season could be a bit, well, it is long, it's grueling. It's even longer than the Diamond League,
Mm-hmm.
for example, right? When you check that some of them move from indoor into outdoor,
Yeah.
depending on,
Yeah.
right? And you compete in almost every weekend during the season.
Yeah.
Sometimes almost
Well,
every weekend.
however, Michael, but I know I have said that in the past, um, and I agree with it, and I disagree. I think one of the problem with athletes and coaches
Mhm.
is where they choose to go to school, and I think that is the issue with when we see that happening with some places that you compete in, because you could have a relationship with a coach and say, coach, this is the year for this, and I would like to be in this, and coach understand, because guess what, it is not only winning NCAA title and so forth that really keep a coach job. Not only that,
Mhm.
but if an athlete is top ranking, if an athlete win the World Juniors, if an athlete do these things, that also is on that coach's resume as well. Maybe even not to keep his job, but maybe to get another job faster.
Yeah,
It's on his
especially.
resume. Yeah. So you have this thing. So when athletes coming in, because there are some programs in the US that is very tough. The program in Georgia is very tough. It's not for every athlete. Some program is not for everybody. It's a very tough program. Coach Carroll is very, very strict, and she just sent people home. From since she was in USC, it's not something new. She would just tell you go home.
Yeah, she
She would just say
dismissed
you
them.
done for the day. Go home. Yeah,
Yeah.
she would just tell you that. Programs is like, so when the athletes choose to go to these top tier schools, and then they cannot manage a coach, they don't have a relationship with the coach to have a thing, then they just feel like I have to do what the coach says. No, you have to have a say as well. So you also need those kids in them to also understand that. So to one extent, yes, I agree that some of them going, and to some athletes, they don't compete every week. They have a
Mhm.
say. They literally have a say in terms of how the season gonna go. Because what are important is, yes, going to the conference championship, going to Mexico, and going to the regionals. Those are important. So they will prep themselves to get to that. But after that, now is they not every weekend someone then competing, because they do
But,
have a voice. Yeah,
but do you think it was, well, I mean, looking
yeah.
at it now, certainly it was, but where we had the most dominant Jamaican athletes, right? Well, sprinters in particular,
Yeah.
right? Trained in Jamaica and basically avoided the US college system, right? We talk about Bolt, Blake, Powell,
The
um,
twins.
Shelley and Fraser Price.
Yeah,
Well, and I'm looking at even
Jackson,
from
all
the
of them.
past, Elaine
Yeah,
Thompson, all of them, right? And 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 I think even as it is now, when we look at the athletes now, the current crop, they are Jamaican trained, home base, right? Most of them are. Do you think it's the right, as we get ready to wrap up, you think it's the right decision for the Jamaicans now? And it's paying off for them?
it is. At one point, I asked myself, is Jamaica building a junior program? Now that's I asked myself that, because my understanding is what they do, that a lot of these high school kids now, and some of us don't know that, but I'm gonna say that the twins, they go to school.
Yeah,
Tina and Clayton, they go to school.
in
A lot
Jamaica.
of time we thinking that they don't. They are in college, they are in university, and they are at this program where the athletic director knows that they are professional. They knows that they're professional, so they probably still will be racing for the school, because and so forth. But they know they are professionals. So yes, And that was in the contract. So the school will give them a little scholarship, and then they're gonna pay the rest because this, kind of thing like that.
And you're
Right?
speaking about the school in Jamaica, right?
In Jamaica, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
School in Jamaica. So a lot of times, we look at some things and thinking, well, they should have gone to states. Well, they don't necessarily need to. And one of the things today we're seeing a lot of sponsorships. A lot of, like we talk about, Puma is giving out money like raindrops. So a kid could get a 100,000 a year, 80,000 a year, 60,000 a year. That is good. They get some gears. They don't have to worry about clothes because back then all the weight is the Puma gears. They're getting all the stuff. They have some money in the pocket, and part of the contract is probably paying for school.
Yeah,
that could be part of the contract. So if my coach is having me run X thing, no, the saying is that you take 2 years to develop under a new coach. So I'm losing 2 years going into college, kind of thing, right? If that's the true saying, I'm losing 2 years to develop under a new coach. When I'm with my coach already, I can develop right now. And, I'm getting some money, and that's not NIL deal. NIL deal with track and field is very hard to get compared to football and basketball. For sure. Track and field for NIL deal is very, very hard. So you cannot depend on the NIL deal. So instead, it is a plus for them. But then you do have those, minimum athletes that's, third string, that certainly could go on and compete on the college level, and then they develop and coming in. Then you have those who is very, who is higher. So certainly there is, but I said the same thing recently about here, the Canadian system too, with our young athletes. And I said, if you train an athlete with the intention of making a national team, and whatever the standard is the goal, and they come close to it, it's faster for them to get a scholarship to the US, than saying, let me focusing on getting a scholarship to the US. That is more of a challenge. But if you're focusing on making a national team, we will see a lot of more young athletes making national teams for Canada. And I think that's one of the areas that coaches really have to step up in. Same thing in Jamaica. Their goal method is making a national team. That's their goal. So if they're thinking of making a national team, they're going to do everything. They're going to be on point. They're going to be, on the standard. They're going to be there to get it, right? So that's certainly what it is. So yes, it is good. They can stay home and go to school and get their education. Certainly it's a positive thing. And if it doesn't work out that way, just go away, build yourself, because athletes have done it in the US, they've done it.
So as a wrap, and addressing the question,
yeah,
can Jamaica reclaim their title as the sprinting powerhouse of the world?
Yes, they can.
Right, and you say
today, yes, they can, based on what we are seeing now, and it's not only in the sprint, which is what we talk about, but in the whole of track and field, because they are showing making finals in almost every event that they're in. Long jump, triple jump, the throwing events, they are showing that they can make a finals, and that says a lot.
So you get another yes from Edwin Sam that
thank you, sir.
Jamaica they can reclaim their title as the sprinting powerhouse of the world, and I guess that's what you explain it in terms of the decent performance as well in the field events. Okay,
decent, very good, and again, it come back to what I said on the day. A lot of athletes performing so great, but it's on the day, because to win a world championship is what, 100,000, 50,000, something like that. Something like that, right? Yeah. Yeah, if you for a record, you get extra. So I don't need to run 9 seconds. I just need to win, and I'm making $50,000. So it's not necessarily about how fast I run. How fast I run will probably give me bonus with my sponsor, but it's not about how fast I run. It's about getting on the podium. So yes, when we look at it, it's about getting on the podium. We're not looking at how fast they run. Can you get on the podium? And that's the main thing on the day. don't be surprised Kirani get on the podium. Don't be so shocked.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Don't be shocked because I said it's on the day that matters. Kirani is not running as much as all these other guys. He's not. And that's the same we come back with Quincy. He was racing so much in high school. And when it comes to what really matters, he couldn't make it. As fast as he was running, he couldn't make it. Because he was burned out. And not only say not make it, he couldn't. I don't even think he didn't make the finals. So he can't even be on the team. Period. Mm-hmm. To say he will be on the relay team or be on the mixed relay team or do something, he's not a none. And if the US system is what I think it is, you're not in that top 8. You're not going. Yeah. They're not taking you. They're not taking you.
Could be very tough, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, Shelly didn't. Shikari didn't need to because she have a bye.
Right.
She run the 200 because she don't have a bye in the 200, but she have a bye for the 100 meters. Same thing with Sharika. She have a bye in the 200. She don't need to run it in the championship. So kudos for them on that area. You understand? Like, go back to same thing with Noah Lice. He has a bye in the 100 meters, so he didn't have to.
That name you just mentioned it for the first time.
Yeah, I was saving it for a little while, and I don't know. There's
I don't know what to say. Do you think after all that has happened, I think that is the third race. I think you had Kishane, and then you had twice with Seville Oblique. Do you think that may probably give him a sort of well, not so much a shock, but sort of tell him, listen, calm down, settle down, genuflect, reflect, and prepare yourself for the championship. The championships matter now.
Well, I think that I based on how I've seen it, I think there is a strategy. Because both times his start was really bad. Especially this last race, his start was really bad. He was left in the blocks. It's not the rain, because all 8 guys is in the same rain. Yes, it was raining a lot, but all 8 guys was in the same rain. So it's not the rain.
Everybody.
I think he's trying something, and he's using those means to try it out. But he run better when he was doing all the stuff he was doing, all the foolishness. So you probably need to go back to that.
All the hype, yeah.
You probably need to go back to that.
Go back to the hype.
Because he was running. That's your strategy. That's who you are.
Yeah.
And you were running well. You probably need to go back to that. Because that is his thing. If that's his thing, then that's your thing. So you probably need to go back to that to get yourself back up there. But there's no like I said, I like the fact that he said there's no excuse. I just had a bad start and there was nothing excusing. He said he didn't blame the rain.
And at the same time,
I respect that. Yeah,
he's working on things.
He's working on something. And before I hear before I even hear his interview, that's one of the things I said. I said, you know what? I think they're working on something with him. And every the meets they go to is kind of a strategy planning. So I just think it's just one of those things. Maybe just trying to test the reaction, maybe trying to test the blocks, maybe they're trying that new blocks come out, maybe something. But both races, he was Kishane said the same thing. After he raced, he said they were working on something, they're planning something. He needs to run his race. He's almost back to what he was doing from last year. He's not running full out. He could run faster than he's running. They're working on something as well. But if he continue like this, he's going to lose. If he continue like that, he had to run his race right through. Listen, Bolt did it one time, and somebody talked to him. That Bolt would have run maybe 9:40 if he didn't slow down that one time and turn around. He probably would have run 9:40. Somebody probably talked to him, and he never did it again. He won all the way through, unless he's in the heats, he cannot thing. But when it comes to the finals, he never do that look back again. He never did none of that again. And that one time he did it, like I said, it didn't cost him the race, but it probably cost him the 9:40 record that could have, But certainly, he never did it again. And I think the same thing, Kishane. Just run. There's too much looking around. Too much not finishing because you think you're ahead. Run right through, and that's
All
just
right.
my thing with him.
All right, before we go, and do you think that that little dust up with Kenny Benarek
Yeah, I
him up a bit?
regardless of what it is, I don't like physical stuff in a game, and because I look at it and I say, he could have tripped and fall and hurt himself
Oh, you mean
because he was in the motion of running.
running.
And and in spite of what you want to say, whatever problems you guys have, that's not the place for it.
Well,
It's kind of come back and say like almost like we try to teach kids what not to do. Showboarding and this stuff for them is always happening. People were looking back. They've done it. Even Bolt, we just said it. He had done it before. It's nothing new. You understand me? It's a part of what make the sport nice. A little showboarding, a little thing. It's a part of it. When Bolt did this stuff, Bolt never did it. Bolt just did something that turned into something. It was never anything. He just did something. The dancing and stuff is just him. He just celebrating, and that become his thing. But with that right there, no, that is a no. They have to have the Kishane James syndrome in them. By win, lose, draw, you shake a man's hand, you say good race, you put a flag around them. They got to go to that syndrome. You got to say what problems you have with each other. You don't show it there. If it's something you got to talk about behind the scenes, you do it behind the scenes. So, yet again, we have everything in Grenada. Probably they need to come down to Grenada as well. We are inviting them. Maybe they can get some Kishane James syndrome. Maybe the coconut water they need for them to have that love in the sport. But I like I said, I would have seen a very, very bad injury because he was still racing and he pushed him. He could have tripped and fall. And that could have been a season-ending injury. And if you're doing it there, man, I don't know what the consequences was with Track and Field USA, but certainly
I got the impression that
they
spoke and they made it up, right?
Yeah, they did. You understand me? But I would have liked for Brandon to come out in the media and say something. But the fact that nothing is being said, you're saying to the young people, it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of young kids look up to you, and I think they should have come out and said, we had this, so they should don't condone this in the meet, because then you find kids start doing these things, and then it become a problem.
Yeah, I want to agree with you, Rudian, and I also want to agree with Edwin Sam, who says that, do we think Rudian is excited for the championships?
I'm certainly excited.
Who is it?
I'm more. Let me tell you who I'm more excited for. I'm more excited to see Faith run the 1500. I'm not a distant person, but I'm excited for her to see her break that world record. I think she can do it, and I'm really excited to see that women 1500. I can't wait to see that. As in, I have what I have for the 100-meter finals. It could still be a Caribbean sweep. And listen, that 100 meters could be a Caribbean sweep. Lots of people going off and Jefferson. Listen, we haven't heard Alfred for a while.
Yeah.
Because it talks about strategy. It talks about I raced a lot. Now it's time for me to. She has a phenomenal coach. She has a phenomenal coach. So I think that's the plan, and that's why we don't see as much. We're seeing Jefferson too much.
The confession I have to make is that I thought that I made a boo-boo. I should have taken my leave during the World Championships, because the thing about it is that really, Tokyo, remember, $12, right? So what is nighttime is morning. What is morning?
Is morning. What is morning is nighttime.
That's a problem. So that will be my vacation.
That should have been vacation time.
That should have been a vacation for that World Championship for me to enjoy it. I don't want to miss. And as we
You
said,
have to miss something. You have to miss something.
Gone are the days where you only look forward to the 1 and the 2 and probably the 4.
Every race.
Right?
Every
You
race.
want
Every race. Every single race.
Event.
And you want it live. You want it live.
Yeah,
You don't want it. You don't want to hear after. You don't want to hear nothing. Or you want to. Yeah. You want to feel. You want to feel the excitement with them at the time.
I don't want to be calling Rudy and ask him who won.
Yeah. Who win this and what happened? Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be part of it. I want to be as I want to be as a spectator watching it live.
Yeah.
So
certainly, it's certainly will be good. And like I said, after the season, we'll talk about a lot of other things. Like I said, hopefully the week before World Championship, we probably might talk about what we think, who is our finalists, we know who's thing. Yeah. After that, we will talk about some other things. A few things I have in mind, which is keen on federations. Really want to have a discussion on that. Hopefully, we probably can bring somebody on to suddenly talk about, their federation and things they're doing. Like I said, I'm 100% pleased with Grenada. I'm excited for what I've seen with Grenada. They are thinking of young people. This administration, as well as the federation, they're thinking of young people. They're giving them the opportunity. These other countries doing the same thing.
Yeah, and while we're on that, let me also say, as you will have seen, that the folks in St. Andrew, the lighting of the Progress Park.
Yes.
Which is brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I think it's deserving for the folks of St. Andrew, for football, for cricket, for sports in general. Right.
And I think what we need to also, Michael, myself, and Sam, and everyone else, Roger, we need to start making a protest for a new track somewhere in Grenada. They need a second track.
You mean outside of
outside of the Kiriati James. We need a second track. It'll make a big difference, somewhere, wherever it is, even if it's in the middle of the ocean, we need a new track. We need something that can help the athletes, because they are running on those synthetic track now. It's no longer the grass. And that's one of the things, again, come back to Jamaica, that makes a difference, is that, I know we talk about it in Jamaica, and we know that going to champs, just before we wrap up right now, going to champs is the biggest thing in Grenada, the biggest thing for them. For us, it's intercom in terms of sport. Champs will take over any major games they have in, except maybe football, if they have a one-day football game, but champs it is, and sponsorship is very hard to get. Sponsorship is very hard. But Jamaica have a system where it's a qualifying system. It's like the World Championship. Top whatever is making it into champs. So they have meets a lot of places. So those secondary people who try to get a sponsorship, who couldn't get into champs, they are the ones sponsoring these other little meets. And that's how you find out across Jamaica now, in the countries area, the rural countries, they have a track. And no longer, some of them is not only grass. The track is not only in Kingston only, but in some other places where they have track built. Maybe not top tier, but they have track built. And I think that's what we really need. If we have other tracks, it will open up the avenue of giving these kids the opportunity. And certainly, I think that will make a big difference to build the sport of track and field.
Decentralizing some of our major facilities. That's right.
Yeah. There's some fields that, even if it's a 300-meter track, even if you can just put on some sort of the actual track itself, and even if you don't get the track, but you can put on a turf. At least they're not on the grass. They are something secondary to something else. It will really help them, because they could use spikes on it and it'll be good. It's hard to see. We have had success, but it's hard to see hurdles on grass and then you're going to run it on synthetic. It's a tough thing to do. Hurdles is a very dangerous sport on grass, and then going on. It's two different things, and we don't want to hear people getting hurt and so forth. But like I said, we will do the protest for that. Maybe after we have our sports bar and we make enough money, maybe we can do our own thing. But certainly, it is surely coming, So
And by the way, before we end our program, folks, just to let you know, one of our usual contributor, Mr. Chenny Joseph. He's mourning because he lost his brother. He lost one of his brothers who passed away a few days ago. So on behalf of Rudian and TalkSports, we want to extend condolences to Mr.
To
Chenny
him
Joseph
and his family. Yeah.
and his family and the loss of their loved ones, right?
And
And
the community. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rudian. And enjoy yourself.
It's always a pleasure. Yeah, certainly. Be getting out of here in the next 2 hours.
Yeah. All right then.
Yeah, next 2 hours. All right. Have a good one. Thanks again.
All right then.
All right. Bye.
Rudian Sylvan live from Toronto, Canada, on our first program on the resumption, right? After the summer recess. So it's now until later on in the year when we take our next break again. I think we take one for Thanksgiving and then probably around Christmas. So and things like that. So thank you once again, folks, for being part of our program. Thank you to all those who were part of our program, to Saddle of the Garden, and we had the Duncans. We're talking about Roger and Theo and Edwin. Thank you very much. Martin, good afternoon to you. Thank you for being part of the program as usual. That's Martin Alexander. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for being part of our program. And look forward to your company come next week, God's willing. Same time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon for another in our series of Talk Sports, our Saturday Sports Special. Until then, do have yourself a pleasant weekend.